All right. Welcome to the third episode of the Talking Ball podcast with yours truly, Will.
And I'm Kyle.
Yep.
This is actually take two.
Yeah, take two. Yeah, we had some technical difficulties on take one, but I think we just need to, so much has happened in the last week and a half, whether it was with your jury duty because we weren't able to get an episode off last week, but we saw some crazy stuff going on in the championship series for both sides. I think the one aspect of that really stands out right off the bat is Mr. Ohtani and what he did in Game 4 down in LA to close it out for the Dodgers to get them back to the World Series.
Yeah, Ohtani, the Dodgers just seem inevitable right now. Their opponent hasn't been to the World Series in over 32 years.
Yeah.
But I do think that, the underdog can always beat, like David can always beat Goliath, stuff like that. Like we've seen big underdog teams like completely out of it, like disregarded, thinking they're going to get swept. We've seen teams like that like win the World Series, like the 2019 Nationals. Like they beat Houston against all odds.
Well, yeah, and just with the whole matchup between Toronto and Seattle, all the hype with it finally going to Game 7, where it was either going to be the first World Series appearance for a team in over 30 years who won back-to-back World Series in the 90s, or it was going to finally end the whole tale of the last team who had never made a World Series, which unfortunately for the Mariners is still them. And just, everything with, the whole, what do they call it? The best two words in sports, Game 7.
Game 7. Yeah, I think before we talk about those series, I do kind of want to quickly recap the ALDS and NLDS series real quick. Just like the big points. I listed them from least important to most important. And I think we'd be doing Yankees fans justice by quickly going over them because I think they want to forget that series as soon as they can.
Oh, yeah. I'm not a crazy Yankees fan. Well, I'm not a Yankees fan at all. I hate them. But that was just embarrassing.
A little bit.
They could not really make any major response other than, what was it, Game 4, I think, that they won? Or no,
it was Game 3.
Or Game 3. Yeah, they had to win Game 3 because it was best of 5.
But that was on a mammoth home run by Judge.
That's true. He hit it off the foul pole. I remember Joe Davis, the broadcaster, was like, "Is this his moment?" And then it hits the foul pole, and it was like, "It is." But yeah, those gritty Blue Jays were able to send the Yankees to Cancun. So
yeah, and I think the biggest takeaway from that series, especially for the Yankees, is what I saw is they definitely have an Anthony Volpe problem. He
that was like totally crazy.
I saw his stat line. I think he ended his postseason stats with, I believe, 13 strikeouts.
Yeah.
In only 6 games or 7 games. And I think Yankees fans want to ship him off to Boston or something because not only was he terrible at the plate, he also
he had so many errors.
He also led the league in errors.
His whole season as a whole was not great.
Yeah, he had a season from hell. It's hard to fill the shoes of a legendary captain, but sometimes Brian Cashman just has to swallow his pride and just make the move that needs to be made.
But Volpe didn't really come right in after Jeter because Jeter retired 11 years ago, right?
Yeah, it's like when you're a shortstop for the Yankees, you always have those expectations.
Yeah. I guess you're right.
Regardless of how long it was. It's been a decade since Jeter retired.
Didn't he retire in 14?
I think so.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. It kind of, I mean, yeah, it kind of feels like yesterday
Gosh.
when he played his last game.
God, now I feel old.
But yeah, I think the whole thing with Volpe and I remember in Game 4, it was like late in the game and he was up at the plate and he had a chance to make a small impact to get the Yankees closer in that game, and he
struck out looking.
No, I thought he like waved at a pitch.
I know he struck out looking in that game at one point. He was getting booed relentlessly.
Well, and because I remember the broadcast had panned onto a fan. He was like, "Swing the, blinking bat or whatever," right?
Yeah, that was a meme for a week.
Yeah, but so yeah, the Yankees let themselves go as usual in the playoffs.
Yeah,
once again.
And obviously, a bunch of fans are calling for Aaron Boone's head, but that's not going to happen.
No, well, I think they already said that he's coming back at least for one more season.
Yeah. Speaking of which, a managerial move that I do not agree with is Rob Thompson coming back for the Phillies.
Yeah, I remember you expressing your disdain for that.
I have never seen a more botched manager series in a while. The way he managed that bullpen and the base runners and pitch running and pitch hitting was abysmal. He single-handedly lost Game 2 for the Phillies, and I want to say he could have potentially lost Game 1 for the Phillies too.
Yeah.
You take out Christopher Sanchez after he's dealing in Game 1 because it's the third time through the lineup, because that's apparently a thing everyone has to do in the playoffs now.
I guess so.
You pull him for 40-year-old David Robertson, who couldn't throw a strike, and then you put in Matt Strahm against Teoscar Hernandez, of all people.
That didn't end well.
I'm like, how do you think that's going to end? And then Game 2, I don't even want to think about Game 2 again. Like, you don't pitch run for Nick Castellanos in a bunt situation. Like, it's the most obvious play in the book, and the Dodgers cracked that down.
Well, the Dodgers were like, they couldn't have played it perfectly. I mean, they knew, like, Castellanos. That was just doomed from the start.
It was just horrible fundamental baseball. And then Game 4 is going to be a microcosm of that whole series.
I think just the final play, that when Kerkering just waved the toss to home plate, where he could have and would have gotten the out at first base even after bobbling the ball.
Yeah.
That was just like, I feel it was fitting for the Phillies to go out that way.
Yeah, like, I feel terrible for Kerkering. There's nothing wrong with him. He did have a really bad second half stretch, but he shouldn't have been put in that situation to begin with.
Yeah.
You should have just kept Luzardo in. But also, you could tell he panicked because JT Realmuto was pointing to first. I don't know if Kerkering thought that meant throw it to him. But
well, usually that's like, when you see a bunt or a small chopper right out in front of the mound, and it's the pitcher's ball to field it. Usually, like, because like they've always said, like, oh, the catcher is like, he's the guy on the field. He's the captain. You got to go where the catcher tells you to go, but it just didn't happen that way.
Yeah, it's a panic move. It's unfortunate, but the fact that Rob Thompson's coming back in 2026, I do not trust him to guide the team next year. Plus, with all the free agents they have, there was also a rumor or like a report last week that the Phillies are shopping Nick Castellanos to either trade or release him.
Oh, I've heard that there's no chance that he's a Philly next year.
Yeah, they sound like they're ready to move on, which is valid because I wouldn't want to pay $20 million a year for his production that he's had. It's been a really underwhelming tenure as a Philly for him.
I mean, he's had his moments, but they've only just been in the smallest of possible sample sizes.
Yeah. And then you look at Schwarber's contract in the long run, and it was so much cheaper, and you got way more production out of him, and now he's gone.
Yeah.
Same with Realmuto, and Ranger Suarez too.
Oh, yeah.
So that Phillies team is going to look a lot different. I don't think they're going to be better. They might actually miss the playoffs, in my opinion, next year.
You think they're going to be like the Braves?
I think so. I think they're going to regress heavily next year. And I don't know how long Bryce Harper would want to sit in a place like that.
Well, what, he signed like a 9-10 year deal?
Yeah,
he's like halfway through it now.
Yeah, but he joined to play for a winning team.
Well, they have been winning. They did make the World Series, but
yeah, Philly's got to figure something out though.
Yeah, that's a whole crazy thing. But I just want to touch really quickly on what Ohtani did in kind of going into the championship series stuff, because that was, I think, eye-opening for everybody who was paying attention or watching.
Yeah, I think people were actually concerned about Ohtani after the NLDS because his stat line, I believe he went like 2 for 20 in that series.
Yeah, he was doing
terribly.
nothing.
He did terribly.
He's striking out so much, but I think all it really took for him to get going maybe was just to get on the mound where let me just say this. I was fortunate enough to be at Game 4 at the NLCS down in LA. It's a long story, but I had no expectations. I think deep down I thought that they were going to win the game and sweep the Brewers, but I don't know if anybody really had on their minds what to expect to see what Ohtani wound up doing in that game. But for a guy who is a year off of elbow surgery, Tommy John, and he didn't even pitch a full year this season, and for him to do what he did in that game, first of all, in the top of the first, to strike out the side, but then for those who don't pay attention to the Dodgers, whether Ohtani is pitching or not, he's always their number one hitter, so he's always going to lead off for you in the game. But for him to come up his first at bat in that game and just hit a nuke into the right field seats, that was it really left me speechless, because when I think of Ohtani, I do kind of go back to what it must have been like to watch Barry Bonds play. And I know I went to a baseball game, back when, probably 2006, 2007, where Barry Bonds did play in the game, but I don't remember it because I was so young. But when I ask people who, remember firsthand, seeing Barry Bonds play and watching Ohtani play now, I mean, just the way that, Ohtani's pitching game that's one conversation, but I really want to emphasize how insanely impressive Ohtani's, just his monstrous presence in the batter's box. And it's just, he even when he doesn't really connect with the ball and he just hits like a solid line drive out in the outfield, he's still squaring up these baseballs and hitting them over 150 miles an hour every single time.
You go to we keep in mind we're Giants fans, by the way.
Yeah.
you go to one Dodgers game and see Ohtani in action, you instantly become a fan.
The one Dodger game, it was the first time I ever went to a game at Dodger Stadium. Yeah. And
he left.
I saw that.
He left early.
Dude, I was trying to avoid the traffic.
You didn't get to see that third home run. Yeah. That would have been very epic. I would have stayed for the celebration. I don't care if it's nosebleeds. I would have gotten my money's worth.
Well, I got to see, for context, he hit in total, he hit 3 home runs in Game 4. I got to see the first and the second. But I think it's safe to say that his second homer was the most impressive because he hit it 417 feet.
It was actually 460.
Or no, yeah, I actually meant to say 470. 470, not 417, 470. 470 feet. It was a moonshot, 117 miles an hour off the bat.
Off the facade.
It was over the pavilion. It went over that roof. in right field at Dodger Stadium. And so, it's just, he's like, gosh, it's like, when Tiger Woods steps onto onto a golf course, or the grade 8 Alex Ovechkin steps onto the ice rink, everybody has their cameras up, their cameras rolling. And because they know that something could happen, where in this case, some crazy things were about to happen. So
sounds like you're making his claim as the GOAT of baseball.
Well, I don't know if I want to go there and down that road, but I think in terms of all of the current baseball players right now, I know people are going to say, "Oh, Aaron Judge is great," and yeah, sure, Aaron Judge is the best right-handed hitter in baseball. But then, obviously, Ohtani is the best left-handed hitter in baseball. But what Ohtani is doing when he's pitching and he's unhittable, throwing 100 miles an hour, painting all the corners in the inside and outside corners of the plate, and then, you're going to expect him to, get on base at least 3 times in every game. It's just, it's ridiculous. It's insane that this dude is doing this.
It's very impressive.
So, anyways, I just had to get that out of the way.
Yeah. Well, we might as well talk about that Dodgers-Brewers series real quick, because there really wasn't much to cover.
Yeah.
Besides that Game 4, the first 3 games were kind of a laugher, but except for Game 1.
And the Brewers, should have won. What was it, game 2 against Yamamoto? Oh no, wait, no. I'm thinking Game 1. Because they loaded the bases in the bottom of the 9th.
I think that was against Blake Snell. They could not hit Blake Snell. That was the first.
Well, problem. But then they brought in Sasaki because Snell pitched 8 innings,
I believe
7 or 8 innings, and then they brought in the closer Roki Sasaki. And he couldn't get anybody out.
Yeah, it's so frustrating because someone finally got to Sasaki. These hitters like Yelich, I remember Yelich's at bat pretty memorably. He worked an amazing at bat.
Oh yeah,
for a walk.
Contreras did too.
Contreras had an amazing walk against Blake Trinan.
Yeah,
like Dave Roberts was about to look like an idiot again for like the 20th time.
He was.
And then we get to Bryce Terang.
Dude, Bryce Terang.
What was he think? I don't think I've ever seen a game costly
that killed me, man.
By human nature. Like, obviously, you're going to get out of the way, but just think about the circumstances you're in, dude. Like, just take one for the team. And then you proceed to strike out on the worst fastball.
Yeah.
Up at the moon.
Yeah. Obviously, that's just human nature, where you're going to, in a situation like that, you're just going to have to look back on it and be like, oh, obviously, yeah, he would, if he would have got to do that all over again, he would have taken one for the team. It probably would have knocked him out for the rest of the postseason because it was going to destroy his knee. But
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You got to, you got to do what you got to do.
Looking at the outcome now, he probably should have taken one, because who knows how different the series could have ended up.
Right. Yeah. I mean, obviously, that I think what the NLCS taught us is that once again, and I'm a really big believer and supporter of this, is that the regular season record, if you all you gotta do is get into the playoffs.
Yeah,
and once you're in the playoffs, the regular season goes out the window.
Yeah, momentum is nothing.
And that's exactly what the Dodgers capitalized on.
Yep.
Was as soon as all they had to do was get in the playoffs, and right off the bat, they just stomped over the Reds, they stomped over the Phillies, and they handily stomped over the Brewers.
Yeah, it helps when you have Kike Hernandez in a postseason mode for sure. And
the fact that Kike Hernandez is still involved with the Dodgers baffles me.
It reminds me of like when LeBron James invited his friends to play for the Cavaliers. It's kind of like that scenario now, I feel, like that relationship, but he actually still performs incredibly.
Yeah.
Like, I believe his career postseason average is like 320 or something. And he's played in like almost 90 postseason games in his career, which is
insane. Wait. Oh no, I'm thinking of Max Muncy. He has the most postseason homers in Dodger history, right?
Really?
I thought maybe I heard that he has like 13 or 14.
I thought that was Kike.
Or yeah, it could have been Kike.
It might be Kike.
You know, I just what what Kike does is he's always making himself, known in a playoff game, and he's always, he's just Mr. Playoffs for the Dodgers, really.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, even when he was on the Red Sox, and for that short time, but I think people are always going to remember him for what he did with the Dodgers.
Yeah. All right, so I think we talked about the Dodgers a little too long.
Yeah.
I'll just recap Cubs and Brewers real quick. It went in 5 games. Honestly, nothing extraordinary happened. I'm not going to lie. They were kind of just blowouts and not very close affairs besides maybe Game 5.
Kyle Busch and Nico Horner, they hit some bombs, didn't they?
Yeah, Nico Horner had a very roller coaster series.
Yeah.
Game 1, I think, was a nightmare game for him, but then he also hit a home run in garbage time, so
That's true.
I don't know how to feel. I do feel like it's not going to bother him. The Cubs fought valiantly, but I think the Brewers were ultimately the better team.
100%. And, Andrew Vaughn, local kid out of Marie Carrillo here in Santa Rosa.
Yep, 2 homers in the series.
Yeah, I mean, he was like, all he had to do was show up to Milwaukee, and he revived his career, I think, basically.
Oh, 100%. I would not be surprised if he's the starting first baseman for the Brewers next year. Rhys Hoskins is...
Oh, you forgot about that, dude.
Yeah, we forgot about him because Andrew Vaughn was doing so well. It's Hoskins' final year on his deal with Milwaukee. He's obviously going to probably leave because I think Andrew's got first base down for next year at least.
Yeah.
Just hope that his surge wasn't just a fluke. Hope he keeps it up because I believe either 2026 or 2027 he'll finally become a free agent and make himself a little bit of money.
Well, yeah. So yeah, the Brewers and Cubs. That was won 5 games. That was good.
Yeah. Here's a question I have for you. We've seen the Brewers teams of the past like come out and be really good all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think they're gonna line up next year?
Well, obviously one of the big things to think about for the Brewers is what you just mentioned with Andrew Vaughn and, the fact that Rhys Hoskins didn't play at all this year, and where there could be a realistic scenario where Andrew Vaughn, comes out on opening day next year for the Brewers and is the starting first baseman. I don't, again, I don't really follow any other Major League Baseball team as much as I do with the Giants, but what I know with the Brewers is that they have kind of been pretty solid in, I don't know if developing pitchers is the right word, but their pitching the last number of years has been really solid with Corbin Burns and Devin Williams before he got traded to the Yankees.
Brandon Woodruff.
Yeah. And so
it's a whole pitching farm down there.
Oh yeah. But they've just, they have just like these witty baseball players. The ones that come to mind or the first name for the Brewers that comes to mind is Sal Frelick. He's
Frelick.
He's an outfielder. He's a shorter guy, but he can really run. And I think it's safe to say that was it him that was able to capitalize on that ridiculously weird double play?
Yeah, I believe so. And he wasn't the everyday center fielder either. He usually plays in right field. I believe.
Yeah, I was going to say he was right fielder.
Either like Blake Perkins that plays center more often.
Oh yeah.
He was in center field for some reason that series. Yeah, that double play I remember being very wacky.
I know. I was watching it for the first thing, and it was. I really had no clue like what had just happened, and I thought it had hit off of the wall, like out of play where it would have been a homer, but it like bounced off of his glove and
then like bounced off, hit the wall.
Yeah.
And then nobody ran. Like Teoscar Hernandez didn't run. They got the force at home, and then Contreras heads up touch third on his own
Mm-hmm.
because Will Smith was still at second. Because like the ball was in play, everyone had to advance, and
Yeah.
that was definitely goofy.
That was and heads up, William Contreras. He knew what was, he knew the situation, and so that's it was like an 8-5-2-4 something double play or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Definitely something you don't see every day.
That was that was crazy.
Sad to think that was the Brewers' only big highlight of that series.
It really was.
I really expected a lot more from them.
Or like Churio's leadoff homer off of Yamamoto in Game 2.
Yep, and it
That was
totally killed my bracket.
I know. Yeah, you know what? It is what it is.
Yep, both our brackets are completely
Both of
incorrect.
our brackets. I think that's a good transition to go into the far more entertaining championship series with the ALCS, Mariners and Blue Jays, where going into that, I think it's, really good for baseball that, it was going to be one of those teams that was going to be playing in the World Series, where just right off the bat, looking at the Mariners, they have now still are the only Major League Baseball team to never make it to the World Series.
Yeah, I do feel for their fans.
Yeah.
Before we talk about that series, I do want to give a shout out to the Tigers. That they did fight valiantly for 5 games. That was by far the most entertaining series of the playoffs. Not even including the ALCS.
15 innings.
15-inning barn burner.
All. Yeah, that was great. Yeah,
I
watched that whole game.
It's unfortunate that the Tigers ran out of pitching at the end because I don't think you put in Tommy Kahnle to win ball games anymore.
No, you just throw him in if you want a guy who will only throw changeups.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for the Tigers, but they should hold their heads high. I think they'll be back, hopefully with more consistency. Next year.
I mean, but like I don't know what this whole thing means, but it was like Tarek Skubal is now in a situation where like him and his crew and the Tigers organization are off by like a factor of like $250 million, like $250 million off. Like working on contract extension.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I think I was about to mention that. Like, you got to get Skubal extended. I think you can also
Riley Green.
Yeah, get Riley Green. I think Riley Green has been extended already.
Okay.
But you can also
Carpenter.
maybe Kerry Carpenter needs an extension. I believe Torkelson could maybe use like a team-friendly extension.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
He hasn't really proven that he's worth an extension fully, but if he's consistent next year, maybe they'll start talking about it.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, good effort by the Tigers. They fought. Just the Mariners were that team of destiny.
Yeah.
Were. Until they met the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays definitely. I thought it was going to be a lopsided series, honestly, judging by the first 2 games. Seattle coming off that Game 5 win.
Yeah.
Only having a day to rest, then going to Toronto, and then absolutely mollywopped the crowd in Toronto for 2 straight games.
Yeah, I mean it was. Yeah, it was crazy, but then, if for the road team to go, on the road for games 1 and 2 of a best of 7 series, and to take the first 2 games on the road, it's like, oh, they couldn't have any more momentum than they have. But then they came back, and Mariners lost Game 3 and Game 4.
Yes.
And then the Blue Jays won Game 5.
No, the Mariners won Game 5.
Oh, right. Because then they came back to Toronto in Game 6, and the Blue Jays handily won that. And then I think Game 7 was like if you want a Game 7, you kind of want it to be like that.
Yeah, very, very dramatic.
It was 3-1 Mariners in the 7th. It wasn't like, it was far from over, but the Mariners brought in Brandon Wu and for his first appearance in the championship series, and he didn't really have strong command of all of his pitching. And it definitely came back to haunt him because it was in the bottom of the 7th where, it kind of is a bad omen in any situation in baseball where you come into a high leverage situation and you walk the leadoff hitter.
Yeah.
Because they always say, they always, in general, they always say that walks come back to haunt you.
Yep. My dad's philosophy with baseball is leadoff walks lead to leadoff runs. So, that run, no matter how it happens, that leadoff walk is going to find a way to score.
Yep. That is a very valid statement. But then George Springer.
Yep, George Springer.
Turning back the clocks.
Playoff hero. Yep. Continuing his amazing season.
I can't wait for Game 3 when Springer comes up in the top of the first. He's just going to get the greatest reception at Dodger Stadium.
Oh, he's going to get the worst reception at Dodger Stadium of all time. Dodger killer. Dodgers know him all too well. I think Dave Roberts will have a plan for him and Vladdy, who was the ALCS MVP, deservedly.
Yeah.
Guerrero put the team on his back in Seattle, was able to help them win 2 games along with him and Springer.
Yep.
There does raise some concern though with the bullpen, if you ask me though, for the Blue Jays. That bullpen went through a lot in the 7 games. And I do not trust John Snyder to manage this team to a World Series personally, but
he was able to manage them to a pennant.
Yeah, I feel like that was
Maybe
mostly in spite of his decision making.
Okay, sure.
You pull Bieber after only 3 1/3. I get it. He didn't have the best stuff, but at least in this case, it's the playoffs, dude. You're playing for a pennant. It's the final game of the season potentially. Just let him pitch as much as he can if he's got it.
But I'll just say this: the whole Game 7 mentality that you have to have, especially in baseball, is that there's no limits. They after Bieber, they brought in Gosman, and after George Kirby started for the Mariners Game 7.
Yes.
And then they brought in Logan Gilbert.
And then they brought in Brian Wu for the final
With Brian Wu this year, he was the best pitcher on the Mariners.
I'd say he became the de facto ace.
Yeah.
Which is saying a lot in a rotation full of riches.
Right. But back to what you were saying, it just comes down to the right decisions, and especially with who you want coming out of the bullpen.
Yep, and that's where my criticism comes for the Mariners. Dan Wilson, I believe, is a heavy relier of the analytical sword, and I always say you live and die by the analytical sword, trying to play quote unquote matchups, which I think
shout out Gabe Kepler.
Yeah, I think is the most ridiculous philosophy ever. Especially if you're in the playoffs, we saw the clip of Max Scherzer screaming at John Schneider because he was about to pull him. I'm so happy Max Scherzer finally told him to be quiet and go back to the dugout.
Oh yeah, he totally went 100% Mad Max on him. He just looked at him, and he was like, "You do not do a."
It's you
single thing.
It's you will not pull me out of this mother game.
Yeah, sure.
It was.
Shout out Maya.
And my dog is barking. We're trying to find a real recording studio. We're in my room.
Oh yeah. We're still novices at this. But just talking about just the decisions that a manager has to make, that's got to be one of the toughest things that you can do, especially in a Game 7 situation where you got to exhaust everything that you have.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I think I texted it to you when the Springer home run happened in Game 7. I was like, why did they pull Wu just to go to another righty against Springer?
Yeah, that matchup. Oh my gosh!
Why are you playing that matchup? Bizzardo pitched, I believe,
analytics
all
to
7
the side.
games.
That was stupid.
Yeah, I think Bizzardo pitched all 7 games that series. Like, why are you going into the most exhausted reliever? Everyone was saying you should have gone to Munoz, which I
Yeah.
do agree. He only pitched, I think, like 3 of the 7 games.
Yep.
And, like, it's that mentality you were talking about. It's game 7. Like, you got to put your best out there.
Mm.
Like, Munoz has gotten 4-out saves before. Like, even though it was the 7th, he could have at least gone another inning if he got Springer out.
Right.
Like, I just don't see the logic in why you pull Brian Wu in that situation.
Yeah.
Like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. It's interesting. Interesting situation. But so yeah, the Blue Jays hung on to win, got their first American League pennant in over 30 years.
Yep.
And I think that can allow us to transition into talking about what did I see? This is the 123rd Fall Classic.
Yikes.
123rd World Series.
Wow. And it's Team Canada versus
I
Team
know.
America.
It's the ultimate international baseball matchup.
And I am 100% Team Canada this series.
I like maple syrup.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So I know for game 1, actually game 1 and 2, the Dodgers have lined up Snell and Yamamoto.
Yeah, like that's a surprise.
So
Big whoop.
that's going to be a big hill to climb.
Yeah.
I think honestly that the Blue Jays have a better chance to get it to Yamamoto than Snell, because Yamamoto has looked, even though he did pitch a complete game in game 2 against the Brewers, I do think he is more crackable than Blake Snell.
The Blue Jays just have to swing the baseball bat. Because, look, Blake Snell is a fantastic pitcher, but, what does he do, like, all the time?
He's got
First pitch strikes.
First pitch strikes.
First pitch strikes. The Blue Jays have to know that. And I don't know what the Brewers hitting staff were telling their players in the NLCS when they went up against Snell. But whatever the Brewers tried to do obviously didn't work. But the Blue Jays have to know that, Blake Snell, he's just a 3-pitch guy. He's got the breaking ball, he's got the off-speed changeup, and then, he'll give you the upper 90s fastball. But he just throws strikes. When you're going up against a pitcher that throws strikes, all you got to do is swing the bat, try to put the ball in play. That's what playoff baseball is all about. Putting the ball in play. Yeah. I know everybody says that, all these baseball old heads, that's all they do is talk about putting the ball in play. But really, that's the key, and that's basically what the Dodgers have been doing this whole playoffs, is putting the ball in play. Whether it's weak contact or sacrificing, getting sac flies and whatnot, but putting the ball in play.
Yeah, I couldn't say it any better. There's a reason the Blue Jays have the best team average in MLB. I believe it was like 265 as a team.
And they do lead the lead. They do lead the league in comeback home runs. Yeah. Or not comeback home runs, comeback wins.
Comeback games, wins. I believe it was, it's 19 now.
Yeah.
They have clutch hitting. So they have all the elements to potentially sweep the rug from the Dodgers, hypothetically.
Well, they're going to have to take at least one of the first 2 games. I feel like if the Dodgers come into Toronto and just handily take the first 2 games, I think it's over.
Yeah, easily. You have to win a game at home in those first 2, and then you have to at least win 1 at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah,
like you can lose the other 2, but if you come home, you at least have momentum coming home to potentially close out the series in 7.
Yeah,
I'd have more faith in that. Also, I just don't want to see a parade in Los Angeles because I think there's going to be riots if they win in LA.
Well, yeah, but shout out to the 2012 Detroit Tigers. They flew out to San Francisco. They got destroyed in game 1. They could have won game 2, but they didn't. And then they go home back to their home turf in Detroit, and they blew it. So anything can happen. Everybody says that all the time. They've always said that anything can happen. But really, I think in just talking about this situation with these 2 teams, and from the Blue Jays' perspective, the Blue Jays must, at the very least, win one of the first 2 games.
Yep. Whether they get to Snell or get to Yamamoto, they have to also figure out the Dodgers bullpen after that, which just it's made of like Dutch and Scotch tape at this point.
Yeah.
Like, but it's still one of the most unhittable units in baseball. Like Alex Vesia is randomly unhittable in the playoffs, and Blake Trinan, like his slider, I guess breaks like 20 more inches when come playoffs.
He's got a nasty breaking ball.
But yeah, their bullpen is something else. That's also a factor that they're gonna have to figure out, because you also got Sasaki as a closer pumping 100.
Yes, I do want to say this
with that disgusting splitter.
Who have you not seen pitch for the Dodgers this offseason? Tanner Scott. Which isn't a surprise.
Is he even on the postseason roster?
I don't know if he was hurt or something, but
I think he was hurt.
Maybe, and they just left him off just as a precaution.
I mean, hey, look at what's happened.
Look how it's worked out for.
It's worked out wonders for them.
The team down in the blue. Well, the World Series, the World Series is always fun. You got all the tradition with the World Series, and I think this matchup, it's in a way you could call it, a coast to coast World Series, but it's pretty much like if it were like Dodgers versus Blue Jays or Padres versus Red Sox, and talking about like travel distance, right?
Yeah, it's more like a West Coast series.
Yeah, it has a huge impact, and
like imagine if the World Series became Seattle versus LA.
Oh yeah,
like you just have to take like a
3-hour
flight,
or the Dodgers versus the Angels, or the Giants versus the A's.
Yeah, like you wouldn't have to go very far.
Yep.
That's
also, why they called the '89 series the Bay Bridge World Series, the Bay Bridge Series.
For the World Series, though, I have made a claim, though, in my mind. I want to come out and make a bold gamble. If the Blue Jays somehow manage to pull off the major upset and win the World Series,
which it would be a major upset.
It would be a major upset. I will buy the jersey of the World Series MVP.
All right.
Whether it's Ernie Clement, Andres Jimenez, even like if it just turns out to be Vladdy,
Look,
I will buy their jersey.
I think if you were to go look on a betting website and see what the odds would be for, like, if the Blue Jays win the World Series, who the World Series MVP would be. I think the top 2 would be Springer or Vladdy.
Yeah, Springer's got that World Series experience. He's also rising up in postseason home runs. I think he tied 3rd all time with Altuve.
Yeah, he's got over 20.
He's got, I think, 24 now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, if Altuve was back in the playoffs, who knows? He could have beaten Manny Ramirez, because I believe Altuve has 26 and Ramirez has 29.
Well, I know that stinking Jose Altuve has been playing so darn long that he was one of the players on the Astros that did not reach base at all against Matt Cain when Matt Cain threw the perfect game, and that was a million years ago. So
yeah, it's weird to think that like the Astros aren't in the playoffs. Like,
I know the Astros aren't it. The
Yankees,
Astros, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Braves.
Like I feel
the Braves didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, I feel a big shift in like the powers of baseball. Like there's a bunch of up and coming teams. Like the Tigers are good again.
The Tigers are here. The Mariners are here.
I think
the Blue Jays are obviously here.
I think the Royals are going to bounce back next year.
Royals,
hopefully,
they made a late push.
The Giants should hopefully bounce back.
Yeah.
Beggars can't be choosers. I think the Diamondbacks will probably try to regroup. The Padres will be back. So
the D-backs are going to get Corbin Burns this next year, right? They're going to get.
I think he's out for a majority of next year too.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks just had a season from hell. Like, even I felt bad for them. Luckily, we managed to finish above them in the standings somehow.
We did. The Giants wound up in 3rd place, which I think that at the beginning of the year, that's where everybody was predicting them to finish, was right in the middle.
Just in the mediocre tier.
Yep.
Well, that does bring us to a perfect leeway to their managerial hunt. It sounds like all signs are pointing towards Tennessee Volunteers coach Tony Vitello being hired as the Giants' next manager.
Yeah.
I came out and said that I don't personally like this idea, but because like the transition from college is completely different to the transition to MLB. Like, there's a lot of things you can't get away with at the MLB level.
I watched. What did I see? It was like one of the local news stations in I think it's in Knoxville, where University of Tennessee is, and they did a whole thing on this developing story where everybody in volunteer land is, they would be absolutely gut wrenched and devastated if this guy left Tennessee, because the Tennessee baseball program is coming off of a national championship. I think it was last year or the year before.
2024, yeah.
Yeah, last year. But I think just in talking about the Giants here, and with this guy, is it Vitello or Vitello?
Tony, I think it's Vitello. I think Vitello. I find myself switching it. It's like Tony Vitello.
Something. It's one of the two. But I think first of all, it would be very interesting because Buster Posey has come out and said that he wants like a younger voice. You know,
I believe he also said to
that's the direction he wants to go in.
I believe he also said if Vitello, I guess I said Vitello.
No, one or the other.
I think he said if Vitello wants the job,
I know they
it's
call him
his.
Tony V.
Yeah, I think Posey said if he wants the job, it's his.
Oh, I think it's the ball is in this guy's court.
But something has stopped him from officially signing because nothing has been officially confirmed.
The baseball reporters, like 3.5-4 days ago, said that a decision will come in 24 to 72 hours.
Yeah, I believe
that has since passed.
Yeah, I believe that was Ken Rosenthal too.
Yeah, and Jeff Passan.
Yeah, so but, I don't know what's going on there. But as the Giants have struggled to find their manager, the Angels have found their manager.
They did. One of my growing up, actually one of my favorite players to watch.
Yep.
Good old Kurt Suzuki.
Yep. He was a joy to watch.
He from Hawaii. He played for a handful of teams. I mean, I think I'll always remember him for, like, I'll remember for him when he was with the Angels, but he was with the A's.
Yeah, he was on the A's.
Were pretty good.
I remember him actually on that Nationals squad.
He got a ring, didn't he?
He got a ring.
Yeah.
I remember he homered off of Verlander in Game 2 of the World Series.
Oh, yeah.
And then that game became a rout right after that. So
yeah, no offense to the Washington National fans or the franchise, but sometimes I just gotta remind myself that the Washington Nationals won the 2019 World Series.
Yep, and they wasted an MVP season by Trout.
Yeah.
Although that season came out of hell as well. That was the year they lost Tyler Skaggs.
Yeah, that was crazy. The 2019 season was crazy in all different kinds of ways. I mean, it was the MLB 150 year. Yeah, that was something cool.
The beginning of the end for the Astros dynasty. Kind of.
Kind of.
Okay, the beginning of the flock.
It was in a stall. It kind of came out of the stall when they won it in 23, right?
22.
Yeah. I can't get the last 5 World Series winners straight in my head, but it was that Nationals team. I will always vividly clearly remember it was late in the game in the NLDS when the Nationals were at Dodger Stadium and Howie Kendrick hit that clutch of all clutch grand slams
off of Joe Kelly.
It was insane.
Incredible. Like, I remember in my mind, my mindset was, okay, all they need is a sac fly to take the lead.
Yeah.
Howie Kendrick, the way he hit the ball initially, it looked like he got jammed. And then you see him running up the line. He's like pumping his fist. I was like, wait, no way. Yeah. And then Bellinger's back. Oh my God, it's over the fence.
Yeah.
And then everyone just files for the exit.
Yeah. That was like the crowd silencer of all crowd silencers.
I really
hope it to happen at Dodger Stadium.
I really hope we get a moment like that against the Dodgers. Like,
yeah, would
Blue
that be
Jays.
something?
Like, if a Blue Jays fan or player ever listens to this in the future, please know that I rooted for the dagger from you guys.
Yeah, there you go. But there's just just going back to we went off on a little tangent, but we were talking about this whole Giants and Tony Vitello, whatever situation. I think that it would definitely be very interesting to see a new manager for a Major League Baseball franchise that has no professional coaching experience.
Yeah.
But what I was trying to get into just before this was it is interesting to note that the Giants, there are two players that come to mind. The first is new Giant to this past season, Drew Gilbert, who they got in the trade for Tyler Rogers when they sent Tyler Rogers to the Mets. And Drew Gilbert came back to the Giants along with a couple other players in that trade. And another name that comes to mind is, I think his name is Gavin Keelan or something.
Gavin Keelan.
He was their first-round draft pick.
Yep.
So Drew Gilbert, Gavin Keelan, both Tennessee Volunteers.
Yep. And you also have Blade Tidwell, a former Volunteer from that Tyler Rogers trade as well. Yep. And I believe there is also one more piece.
We have breaking news. How does this always happen to us?
What happened?
According to Pete Thamel, who is the college sports reporter for ESPN, Tennessee baseball coach Tony Vitello is finalizing a deal to become the next manager of the San Francisco Giants.
Oh, boy.
Vitello, who's 47, will be the first ever to jump from college coach to MLB manager without any professional experience.
See, I think that's kind of what Posey was going for, though. Something more unique and out of the box.
Yeah.
It's... I really don't know how to feel about this, honestly. I mean, yay, we have a manager, but also... yikes, we have that manager?
Well... I think my initial reaction is like, this isn't like, obviously it's different from like the Giants hiring some guy who's been a bench coach for like the, it's not like the White Sox for the last few years or whatever.
Yeah, like a retread.
But at the same time, this is like, I don't really follow college baseball as much as I do Major League Baseball, but just from the past few days of kind of following this story, I mean, this guy is widely, highly praised. Obviously, he's highly praised within the Tennessee Volunteers, but I mean, this man, he created a culture at Tennessee.
Yeah,
and so obviously, this is brand new information. But yeah, Tony Vitello.
Yeah, Fox Sports Knoxville also confirming. It's an interesting. I want to call it a gamble more than anything. Like again, like I mentioned earlier, there are things that you just can't get away with at the college level, and Vitello gave me that feeling of him being like a college coach. Kind of coach.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna have to learn to either be a little more level-headed or I don't know what you do, because you have a bunch of like older veterans on your team, and if his way of thinking conflicts with like their way of playing, then we might have a issue on our hands.
Right.
But hopefully if he just does his job and lets the talent then and he develops the younger guys, then all should be good.
Wow.
Maybe. I also saw this morning, like just now, as you read that news, I also read other news. Good news for the Blue Jays. It looks like Bo Bichette quoted to the press. Yeah. He said, "I'll be ready."
You forget about I forgot about Bo Bichette too. Yeah. I saw him walking around at the post-game celebration.
Yep, all this postseason hype up for the Blue Jays, and it's Bo Bichette. No Bo Bichette.
Mm-hmm.
Like credit to Andres Jimenez and IKF for picking up the slack with him gone. It sounds like Bichette might be brought back as just the DH though, because Santander is out
Oh yeah.
I actually don't know who's been DHing for the Blue Jays these series.
Yep.
Oh, it was Springer. Oh wait, would that mean Springer has to go to the outfield if Bichette comes back?
Yeah. Well, it'll be very interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you would do.
I'm also looking here, talking about the Giants. They did announce the, well, yeah, I can mention that too. The individual position awards. So the Gold Glove. Not a surprise that Patrick Bailey, in his third season in the majors, has been nominated for his third consecutive Gold Glove, which he did win it last year. He could win it again.
I think he will.
Yeah.
Like he leads the league in what's that stat? He stole the most strikes.
Is it F-WAR?
No, it's not F-WAR. It's like defense. It's kind of like defensive WAR.
Defensive run saved or something.
Something like that. He leads the league by a country mile.
And Matt Chapman. Before I get to Matt Chapman, Logan Webb got nominated for his first ever possible Gold Glove,
which I thought was a little weird, but
yeah, good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
And to my surprise, Matt Chapman is nominated as a finalist for the Silver Slugger for the third base position.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think.
Who are the candidates?
Gosh.
Muncie's got to be on there, right?
He might be.
I'd give it to Muncie if that's the case. Actually,
I got this notification earlier this morning.
Actually, they might put Muncie as a utility player. But I know there are players who are on ballots twice.
Handful. Matt Chapman, Manny Machado, Max Muncy, and Austin Riley. So Matt Chapman won't win it.
It's got to be Machado.
Yeah.
Yeah, Machado had a really good year with the bat. Defense, not nowhere near Chapman, but
no, Chapman. I mean, this year, Chapman defensively was not probably up to his standards.
Not as sound.
I did. That actually brings me back to this thing that I know that towards the end of the season, he was complaining to the media. He didn't like the infield dirt at Oracle Park.
Yeah, which is interesting. Like, you complain about that now after your second full season with the Giants,
right? I mean, he had multiple incidents this year where his hands and his wrists just got destroyed.
I thought
from
that was
diving.
That was on the road though. That was in Colorado, where he broke.
Well, no, he would be
jammed
diving for these infield grounders.
Oh,
and he would scrape up his hands.
I see. So is he saying it's too rough for sliding?
Be too rough, possibly. I don't know.
Well, hopefully Posey fixes that.
Better. Well, he just got a new coach or a new manager. Manager confirmed
by KMBR as well.
Yeah, everybody is pretty much Jeff Pass and KMBR. So
wow.
Tony, I'm gonna say Vitello.
Yeah, I think I say Tony Vitello.
Tony Vitello, the next,
next manager of the Giants.
The new manager for the San Francisco Giants. Well,
I still don't know how to feel about this.
Well, it's still brand new. I thought, I didn't think, this is probably right about the time where, they would probably pick their new manager.
Yeah, he's got to be Posey must have a plan for Vitello. You got Bryce Eldridge in the wings next year.
Posey loves, if there's one thing about Buster Posey, that of the things that he loves other than his family and the San Francisco Giants, I know that he loves college baseball.
I thought you were about to say he loves the South.
Yeah, or that too. Well,
he loves the South. He loves SEC.
He is a Georgia gentleman. He is a Florida State Seminole, but he had such an impact on college baseball that there's I don't know what it's for, but there's the award. It's the Buster Posey Award. It's not the Golden Spikes, obviously, but
I actually never heard of that.
The Buster Posey Award, I forget exactly what it's awarded, who it gets awarded to and what it's awarded for, but this award was renamed after him. It was named after him where it was named after somebody else before him. But Buster Posey, he knows lots of people, and I think the Giants fan in me is very intrigued to see how this is going to turn out. Maybe the baseball, the baseball observer in me is probably oh, that's very interesting. Because at first I had a really strong inclination. Shout out to my pops. He really wanted Nick Hundley to be the manager.
I really didn't. If anything, I'm kind of glad now thinking about it.
Yeah.
Let's hire catchers.
Yeah, catchers
as all of our managers. I know
the Giants already have a catcher as their general manager. Okay.
Yeah.
As the president of baseball operations, but this is very interesting. So,
yeah, as that report said, it was
now
like
I have really high expectations. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's like you saw that post too. I think you read it's like the first ever coach to transition from college to the MLB.
It is.
Like, it's not unusual to see in the NFL for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that happens all the time. Like, Pete Carroll started in college. So did
don't get me started.
So did Bill Belichick. But yeah, like, we've never seen this before. So hopefully it's a boom, not a bust.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna be hearing from us in 2026 just talking about probably not good things.
What is wrong with the Giants? But hey, they have a manager. Definitely, I think maybe like my initial impressions of this is more positive than when they hired Gabe Kapler.
Oh, definitely. Like, I do like the fiery presence he has.
This is the first like major Buster Posey hire.
Yeah,
Buster Posey brought in Adames.
Yep.
But this is the first like big organizational hire for Buster Posey. So
I mean, bringing in Devers was pretty huge.
Well, yeah, but
you're talking about. Like,
I'm talking about like
the staff.
I'm talking about on the staff. So
that
it'll be a whole turnover on the staff. Probably.
He was the one that hired the general manager, right? Manassian. Did he hire him or okay? Because I thought that was him.
Yeah. Zach Manassian.
Yeah, Terry's brother. Is it Terry or Perry? Perry. Okay.
Perry with a P.
Perry the platypus.
Yep. All right. Well, I would say that we have caught up on a fair share of baseball information.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
I think probably by the next episode, obviously the World Series will have been well underway. So we'll see how those first games play out.
Yep.
And so I guess we will see you on the next episode.
Yep, game on Friday. Oh yeah. And
what's that?
I just want to reiterate, the Blue Jays, if they win, I'm buying the MVP's jersey.
New Jersey. You got to get the City Connect one.
The City Connect? Do the Blue Jays even have City Connect?
Oh, it's like they look like an old school, like mid-century modern looking tee.
Oh
for
God,
Toronto.
more money out of my pocket now.
Oh yeah.
Well, I hope they win. That's the impetus. Make me spend my money, Blue Jays.
Go Blue Jays.
Go Team Canada.
Go Rogers Communications, the big Canadian company. All right. Well, we'll see you on the next episode.
Peace.